Hey guys, it's Becky with Design Bundles, and I'm excited today to bring you another installation in our Canva tutorials. We are going to show you how to set up your sublimation designs in Canva. Now this is really great for those of you who either do not have a design software, maybe you don't like your designing software, or overall you just find it limiting. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you the ins and outs of how I use it for sublimation.
Okay guys, so here I am in Canva, and of course if you haven't been to Canva before, it's just canva.com. I have created my account and I've given you a little preview kind of targeted towards Cricut users, and today what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to my sublimation users. So what that means is that I've already created my account, and because I've already played around in here a little bit before now, I did decide to go ahead and upgrade my account to the Pro Edition. Okay, and what that does is it unlocks a lot of features, okay? And I just wanted to specify that because what I want to show you today is I am taking images and fonts that I have purchased from designbundles.net, and I'm using those, and specifically the fonts are a upgraded feature option, and then I will be downloading them with a transparent background, which is also an upgraded feature option. So I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way and let you know that those two options in particular are options that I've paid for. So I'm going to go ahead and create the design, and I'm going to go ahead and do custom settings, and I'm going to do 13 by 19. There we go, 13 by 19. Now you may be asking me, why are you doing 13 by 19? Well, that's because my page size for my sublimation printer is 13 by 19. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a design that matches that page size. Because what that tells me is that everything I can fit in this design area is what I can print, okay, if I'm printing 13 by 19 pages. Now, let's take a few steps back. Say you don't have a wide format sublimation printer. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. You don't have to have one. But I'm just showing you a lot of people that I talk to, especially if you're Cricut users and you are just now getting into working with sublimation. I'm getting a lot of questions about how do I use Cricut Design Space with sublimation. And this is a video that hopefully will help you with that along the way, because you cannot print large images in Cricut Design Space. So this will be another option that you have, and I feel like the Canva software is super easy, so it's not going to be difficult for anybody to learn how to use Canva to create these types of basic sublimation files, okay? So get that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Now this, I'm not going to give you a full intro of working with Canva because that's not what we're focusing on today. But you do have a lot of options here. A lot of people use Canva for a lot of different things. They have templates for you to create printables and social media posts and banners for your web store, and just on and on and on and on. What we're going to worry about today is the uploads. Okay, this will be things that you have uploaded. We can also focus on text. All right, so those are the two areas that we're going to focus on today. Now, I have already uploaded these two designs. Let me get them out because I want to start from scratch with you guys. I want to show you what it's like to start from scratch. So I'm going to go to Upload Media. I'm going to go to Device. Okay, now in my Downloads folder, this is where I got the gnomes, okay? So I can just go ahead and double click. Now both the gnomes and this distressed wood background I purchased in the sublimation bundle, the first sublimation bundle in Design Bundles, just in case you're wondering. Now I had pulled the gnomes out for a different project, but the wood I actually have tucked away because, you know, I have so many files now. I have tucked away in my OneDrive. There it is. So I'm going to go to my downloads, and this one in particular is grunge wood background number 19. So literally that's how easy it is to find the clip art that you want to work with. Now you may be asking me, Becky, what if I want to create my own clip art? Well, you can, but not in Canva. Canva isn't that robust of a software. Canva is going to be, hey, I got these really cool elements and I want to maybe add some text to it, okay? So that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and drag over my background and I can drag over my gnomes. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I want you guys to look at what I'm looking at. There we go. Let's do, whoop, too much. All right, we'll do 50%. And what I want to do is I'm just going to size these gnomes down, or I could have made the wood background larger. Okay, I'm going to size these down. And you'll notice that I'm getting these little guide bars. There it is. See that pops up in purple? Okay, and these types of guide bars are helping me to determine if these are centered to each other, which is very, very useful. They will also kick in when you are trying to center to page. I am going to move mine up a little bit because the beards start to blend in with the grunge around the bottom. So I just want to watch out for that. Okay, now I'm just going to add some basic text. So I'm going to come over here. It says heading, but you know, you can call it what you want. And I'm just going to type out Merry Christmas. And this is where your font comes into play. After I have my font or my text typed out, I'm going to come up here to the top. And you can see I already have a few uploaded fonts here, but I want to walk you guys through uploading a font. So down here at the bottom. Now remember, this part is one of the features that you pay for. Now you get a wide range of fonts that are available to use for free, but I want to upload my own fonts because I know what my commercial usage rights are when I purchase from design bundles because I'm covered under that premium license. So just something to keep in mind, even though their fonts are really cool, they're not going to be commercial usage. So upload a font. And I was a little confused when I first came to this page. You have to scroll down, your uploaded fonts, you're going to come down here to the bottom right. I'm going to go to upload a font, and I'm going to actually just go to my downloads because I had to recently upload quite a few new fonts. And here's where it's saying, hey, I'm uploading this font, and you know, this is kind of Canva saying we're not liable if you use this in a manner that you don't have the licensing for. So of course I'm going to upload anyway because I do have the licensing to use my fonts in commercial designs. And there we go, it's just added to the list. And then when I go back and I just do that, I just exit it out the window. It opened a separate window, so you exit out to go back. And now, let's see, there we go. It should be, well, I guess I got to refresh. Once I refresh and go back to my text, now there it is. And of course I can, you know, do whatever I need to do with this as far as spacing and sizing. Let's go back to our 50%. And actually I still like this font better. So I can drag it over, get it positioned where I want it to be positioned. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom back out. So basically what I want to do is I want to select all of these designs together. And then as I size them, looks like I didn't grab the font there, but as I size them, see how that little black window pops up? And it will tell me what my sizing is. So for example, I plan on, say we're putting this on a shirt. Okay, then I'm going to say, okay, I want it to be 11 inches wide. So I'll go ahead and size this. There we go, 11 inches wide. Because I left my font out, I will drag my font. Oh, I had my font locked. That's what happened. There we go. And I can just put my font back where it goes. Okay, so now this is a completed design, and I can put it wherever I want to put it. And then I can continue to fill up this page and keep going. That way I don't waste any unused space. Now, you may be asking me, well, Becky, what do I do when it's a specific shape? Okay, can I bring templates in? Can I bring whatever in? Well, you can bring clip art in. Okay, now you're not going to be able to bring in specific templates depending on what format they're in, right? But even though you can't bring in those kind of templates, what you can do is you can use shapes. And that's really important because I feel like a lot of times when I am sublimating on something, I can measure and get a basic idea. Unless it's something that I really just need a specific template for, then this trick works every time. I can just insert a square, say, okay, I have a cutting board and my cutting board is an 8 by 10. Well, then I can drag this out and say, okay, 8 by 10. Okay, that's the only time those grids work against you is when you're working on something like that. So let's go ahead and turn it. And now anything that I can fit inside of this rectangle, it'll be sized the way that I want it to be sized. So let's say I love this so much, I want to put it on a cutting board. I can copy and paste and it will give me a duplicate. I can bring that over here and I can size it down now that I've done right by my my font there. And I can say, okay, that is a good size for my, I keep saying cutting board. Let's say it's a canvas. We like canvases. So I want to put that on my canvas. And once it's sized, I can just click on that and delete it out. And then I know that that's going to be sized correctly to fit the canvas that I'm working with, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So like I said, this isn't going to be some super amazing designing software. That's not what Canva is intended for, but Canva is a really great way to be able to bring in all your goodies from design bundles. So we have our files arranged. We're ready to print. What are we going to do now? Well, the first thing that we're going to do is download this. Now, remember I said we're going to go ahead and download with a transparent background. That, for what we've set up our file here, is not completely necessary, but it's a feature that I have upgraded to, so we're going to go ahead and try it out. So I'm going to hit download, and this is going to save this to my computer. Okay, now I just hit continue editing, it's not a big deal, and then I can open up this file in my computer. And this is just my regular Photos Manager, this isn't anything special, and I can hit print. And when I go to my printer, I can, let me see, I want to update this to, where's my Super B? We're going to use this A3 Plus. And for my printer type, we'll use the presentation paper matte. And because I have set up these margins correctly, when I set up the file from Canva, when I go to print this out on my printer, then it's going to print out just fine. So everything will be sized and it'll stay sized because I did that extra work in the beginning. Okay, so let's also not ignore the fact that this still needs to be mirrored or flipped. Now, a lot of you know that there's a setting in your printer that you can change that will automatically print all of your prints in a mirrored format. If that is not the case, and you're working on a PC with this basic editing software like I have, before you get ready to print, you can come up here to your edit, where you can go to edit here, and then you can just choose flip. So then you can go to either save or save a copy. And that way, whenever I go to print, it'll be in that flipped format, okay? Now, you may be asking me, Becky, what if that's not what I wanted to do? What if I wanted to create files and, be able to bring them into Cricut Design Space or bring them into even Sawgrass Creative Studio? Because a lot of people complain about Sawgrass Creative Studio and that they're having some issues. So what if you wanted to print this in Sawgrass Creative Studio? Well, first of all, you don't have to take it into Creative Studio to be able to use it. All right, you can use the print manager and print straight from your computer. But let's just play devil's advocate here. What I can do is I would actually only need one of these, and I'm going to make it fit literally from edge to edge. And you can update, I'm going to go to resize, and I can start making this smaller. Say, okay, so this is, let's see, 13 by 12.5. So if I go to resize, I can type in 12.5. Okay, that's going to give me my new size. Make it large, and it fits the entire design where I want it to go. It also lets me know that my text was a little out of center. And then from here, I can download, still save it as a transparent background. And I can open this in any software that I want and resize it from there. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now, I'm just using Microsoft Word as an example because it's also another program that a lot of people have. So if you don't want to print, or maybe you don't have just a default photo manager, you can open a blank document. I'm going to go to File and Print, and I'll come down here to Page Setup, just because I'm old-fashioned and this is where I'm used to coming. This is where I'll change my paper size, Super B, and hit OK. And now in here, I have a paper size that is 13 by 19. Now again, if you are just printing on legal or letter size, that's okay, you can select that. So now I will go back, let's zoom back out. So now I can go back to Insert and Pictures, this device, and I can find that image that we saved from Canva, and I can make it any size that I need to. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's recap this, because I know I did a lot of things in a short period of time. So basically, you can use Canva in two ways. In this way, what you did was you went ahead and set up the size of your page, set everything up to print, and then saved it as an entire image for a specific print job. Now that's personally what I like to do, but if you're creating these files to be reused over and over and over, then that may not be ideal for you, okay? So in that case, what you can do is just set up the file the way that you want it and save it as an individual image. The difference is when you set it up here like we did option A, I don't have to do any additional sizing or editing because we already took care of that right off the bat. Whereas this one, instead of printing it straight through your default image or photo editor, then what you'll need to do is just open it in some sort of software such as Microsoft Word, and here you can come in here and size it before you print it. Now, like I said, I'm just using Microsoft Word as an example because it's a very popular program, but you can do this in Microsoft Word. You can do this in Cricut Design Space, but remember, you're limited on your sizing in Cricut Design Space. You can do this in Creative Studio. I mean, really, you're just not limited. Once you save this as an individual image, then you can open it in any software that will allow you to open these images. So hopefully that kind of makes sense to you. I just wanted to show you both ways. We'll call them option A and option B, and you can decide which way is going to work best for you. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump over and do the recap.
So what did you think? So Canva is a very, very easy software to use. And I think that makes it really appealing for beginners. Although it's not going to be as robust as softwares that are meant specifically for designing. But for our purposes today, it worked really, really well. And hopefully you find it useful too. Now, of course, if you have any questions or comments about what we've done, make sure you leave those below. I do love to hear from you guys. And of course, you absolutely have to make sure you subscribe to the channel because we will be bringing you more Canva tutorials in the future. It also, just in case you're wondering, really helps us out and helps us to keep bringing you these awesome videos. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.